Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Sindy V King. I am a relationship and dating coach for executives and high achiever. I'm here to create lasting love through Vedic astrology, and I'm considered to be your love coach today. So one really big important topic is if it's worth staying in the relationship that you are currently in. And how do we measure that? And there's one simple thing that you can measure. There is no perfect relationship out there. And that's what I have learned to have done many readings, enough that I have understand that there is no perfect out there. We all have the good side. We all have our bad side. And if this person is driving you crazy and is out of their mind and is bonkers, creating so much drama, but at the end of the day, you still have a great friendship. You can have a sit-down meal and you still have great sex and you still believe in the same things and you want to still co-create and things like that. I think it's beautiful. But how do you know if this person that you're going to dump is going to be worth it or not? And that's where a lot of people are struggling. And you know, what's really funny, I'm all about creating lasting love, but it's important to create lasting love with yourself too, right? So what you value. I'll try to link down below video about non-negotiable is considered to be your deal breaker. I think you should create a list for that, where what you want to feel, what you don't want to feel, and what feels good and what doesn't feel good. You can't be in a place where you tolerate. I absolutely hate the word compromise. I hate the word tolerance. And I know it's a very strong word to use the word hate, because that means you're 1 foot out and 1 foot in. And being a virtue, meaning being honest and truthful to who you are, I think that's a big factor here that you are violating within yourself, right? So it's all about self-worthy and self-respect and self-love. You know, the whole thing about personal development out there is about that. But it's really about what's okay, what's acceptable, and what's not unacceptable, and how do you deal about it. What is not acceptable? There is actually a way to tell your partner what's not acceptable, but at the end of the day, they need to be who they are, and you need to be who you are as well. And so how do we go from there? So it just means that if they're 51%, and what I mean by 51%, and 51% if this person is good enough. So that means they're good enough in their masculine. So that means we can talk about masculine quality or planetary masculine quality. Do they give? Do they protect? Are they steadfast? Are they consistent? Are they committed? Those are the things that is a big factor. Are they immoral, unethical, or illegal? You have every right, or you're bored out of your mind is another factor that you need to leave in a relationship. You no longer are fighting together because it's the same old over and over again. It's so boring. It's the same thing. You're just like, just get it over with. Like, and that's the feeling that you shouldn't have with your partner. Fights are normal. Arguments are normal. Violent is not normal. Abusive is not normal. Those are the things that person needs to work on their own personal development and whatever reason why they're being triggered. That's including yourself. So that message, there's no exemption to that, is we all have carried certain childhood trauma or life trauma in general. I think that's a big factor here that you need to take away, is really pull back and really take care of you and only you, and everybody else, it will take care of itself. Okay? I know it sounds very selfish, but you need to know who you are and what you're granting, where your foot is grounded. That's what I mean. I'm like mumbling in my words today. So, and it creates so much liberty. So at the end of the day, if someone who is very feminine, and that's mean if you're watching this and you want to be with a feminine woman, and there's nothing wrong with that. We talk about that quite a bit in my channel. Feminine is really where you take in and hold in within yourself. And that means being receptive. Is she receptive? I'm giving her as a she. It doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, or a lesbian. It doesn't matter. Okay? Top men, bottom men, doesn't matter. Okay? What do you need to figure out? Who is wanting to be receptive? Is she being receptive? Okay? And that's a big factor. Is she able to be, when you give to her, is she's generous enough to say thank you and things like that? Yeah? And does she really take care of her own feelings? She express how she feels versus what she really thinks and how she do and things like that. Does she really compete with you? And that's another factor, right? So I think that's really where it is. Where is it she's worth it or not? Right? So the end of the day, the rule of thumb is, I hate the word rule of thumb. I don't know why I said that. The real reason if you should leave them or not is the 51%. Just remember that. That 1% makes a big difference. Yes, it does. And if you're in business, when you look at stocks and shares and things like that, 1% makes a difference. So is she or he is worth 1% of the day. So that means that you need to weigh out the asset, the liabilities, and practically the equity as well. And are they worth it? Like, do they have more asset than liabilities? And we all know that some assets are equally as liable, but it's just that 1%, right? So you might just have to sit down one day, or even right now. You can leave it down the comment down below. What are they doing right and what they're not doing right? And and time yourself. Do a 1 minute. You can write down as much as you can. Just split the page and start just writing it out. And you're gonna find out, based on the number of counts of things that you have on the paper, you're like, okay, there's no analyzing. You're not gonna sit there and be like humming and hawing. It's just, you write it down. You got 1 minute, because you already experienced it, so you know what's the good and the bad. And if there's more liabilities, then maybe they're not the right person for you. So instead of holding off on love and creating lasting love, maybe you're actually not spending the right time to create lasting love, and that just means staying in the relationship that is not fitted to you. And that's where you need to have a conversation with your partner, where your values and what you really want to express and who you really are wanting to achieve. And if creating lasting love is what your number one goal is, and if it's more selfish, being in a relationship is no longer serving you and is making you unhappy. So, and we'll talk about the theory about happiness. I think happiness is full of BS, really. I think it's more a sense of fulfillment. But I'll make a video on that. So just remind me if I do forget, leave a comment down below and just message me and just say, Cindy, make a video about happiness in a couple or happiness within yourself and things like that. And I can tell you about happiness and fulfillment and what's more a big important factor. Okay, so I think that's all I have for you, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and share and leave a nice comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye.